guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, dry skin, and give you some tips on how to reduce dry skin during the upcoming winter months when it can be most problematic. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I encourage you to subscribe for day in the life of a dermatologist vlogs, Vlogmas, and more dermatologist tips on dry skin and skincare ingredients. Now, dry skin is quite common. It can occur at any age and is particularly problematic as we approach into dry winter weather. Skin becomes dry when it loses too much water or too much oil. A common contributor to dry skin is age. With age, our skin produces less oil. The top layer of our skin, the epidermis, gets thinner. As a result, we tend to lose water a little bit more quickly. A second common cause of dry skin is your climate. Living in a dry, arid environment, say like a desert, can really dry out your skin. Additionally, in the winter, as we crank up the heater and decrease the ambient humidity in our environment, our skin tends to lose water more quickly. And another unfortunate contributor to dry skin may be your job. Professions like nurses, hairstylists, and other occupations that require frequent hand washing strips the natural moisture factor from the surface of the skin and predisposes to dry, cracked, fissured skin. So how can you fight dry skin this winter season? Well, here are some tips. First of all, as it gets colder, try and avoid using really hot water. Hot water tends to remove the natural oils and natural moisturization factor from the skin more readily than cooler water. And limit soap. There's really no need to use soap other than on your face, armpits, and groin, or visibly soiled areas. Soap actually is harsh and strips off the natural moisturization factor from the surface of the skin. Try and avoid using skincare products or cosmetics that have alcohol in them. Alcohol further dehydrates the top layer of the skin and predisposes to dryness. Now, the third tip is probably the hardest one to do in the winter months when it's freezing cold, but that's to take a short shower, limiting it to about 5 to 10 minutes. Simply because the longer you're in the water, the more of your natural moisturization factor is getting stripped off by the shower water. Moisturize your skin immediately after you get out of the shower. Apply the moisturizer to wet skin. This helps seal the water onto the surface layer of the skin and drive it back into the skin where it belongs, rather than having it evaporate off the skin into the environment. Out of convenience, I keep my moisturizer on the edge of my tub, and as soon as I turn the water off, I grease myself up and my moisturization is done. My next tip is to make sure that you're changing your razor blade about every 5 to 7 uses. Dull razors can actually further exacerbate dry skin by unevenly removing the surface layer. Another tip is to apply something called a wet wrap. A wet wrap entails moisturizing your skin, then applying a damp cloth or a damp sock to the affected area, followed by a dry layer. This really helps seal the moisturizer in and acts as a nice hydrating and soothing spa wrap. Don't forget about your lips. Soothe dry, chapped lips with a lip balm that contains petrolatum. I'm a fan of Vaseline or CeraVe's moisturizing ointment that contains the ingredient ceramide. This can help repair the natural barrier of the skin. And my last tip is to use a humidifier in the bedroom at night. If you'll recall, a common cause of dry skin is an arid environment. Using a humidifier can help with that. So that's going to conclude today's video on dry skin and dry skin care tips from a dermatologist. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for future videos on my skincare ingredient favorites for combating dry skin this winter. Share this video with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!